Welcome to Finnish Tale of Integration, a podcast series by International Student Ambassador from University of Turku. My name is Mahnoor and I am Master Student in Biomedical Imaging and also International Student Ambassador at the University of Turku. In this podcast series, we are here to help you, to tell you the ins and outs of life in Finland and help you make your transition and to integrate in the Finland. And from practical tip to sharing personal experiences, we will provide you with tips and insight that you need to make your transition in the Finnish society as smooth as possible. In today's episode, we will be discussing connecting across culture, the friendship program at the University of Turku with some of our special guests, Sonja Kareranta, who is the program coordinator from the friendship program at the University of Turku, and we also have Pyry Ruonavaara, who is the master's student in Finnish literature at the University of Turku, and he is also a local friend in the friendship program and has personally benefited from this program. So, without further delay, let's get started. Firstly, I would like to ask Sonia about the project. Like, what is this friendship program? If you have to define it in a few words.
So the idea of the friendship program is to simply to connect the international students of higher education institutions here in Turku and the local people here in Turku. That's like the main idea, to bridge that gap between those two.
Okay.
And maybe I'll tell you that the international students, higher education students, the locals are not necessarily students, but rather they can be of like any age. They can be pensioners of older age people, and also families are involved as well. So from different walks of life, all kinds of people.
That sounds interesting. So starting from the Pyry, that's like a general question. How you feel about this friendship program, or what is this friendship program for you?
For me, it was a great experience to find people that are like-minded and have similar interests as I do, and to meet people who I would not probably meet otherwise. Because, for example, my major is quite small, and it's just mostly Finnish people studying, so I don't really get that much international experience during my studies. So I wanted to seek some like more international friends, non-Finnish friends, and to sort of experience Finland and Turku through the lens of someone who's not like used to living here.
All right.
Yeah.
So back to you, Sonia. I would like to ask about what was the main inspiration about this friendship program. Like, how could someone think about, or what was the idea behind to start this program, and how it was basically initiated?
Maybe I'll tell you about the history in a nutshell first, and then go to the inspiration behind it. So the history is that it's not a very new program actually, because it was around originally already in 2008 and the years after that. But then after that it was kind of put on hold for several years. But after the COVID years, I think it was in 2022, it was in a way rediscovered and it was like reintroduced in a sense then, and it's now been running for several years and several seasons after that, following that successfully. But about the inspiration, so the main idea of the friendship program and the goals have always been the same, about the connections between the internationals and the locals here, and about helping bridge the gap between those groups, if you want to call them groups, and also for the internationals to give them like a bigger sense of like belonging and helping them feel more at home here in Turku and in Finland in general, and also to help them feel more integrated into the society where they live, and also about give them more information and experiences about the Finnish culture, traditions, and Finnish language and Swedish language as well. And for the locals, the problem may be the same as with the international students, that it's not always so easy to get those like contacts between the groups. And so the locals also need information and experiences about the cultures of the international students, of course, and even some of the locals that are maybe not even students or maybe a bit older or of any age, if they have not had any contact with people from different cultures that much, then they might even have like some preconceived ideas or stereotypes even of people from a particular culture. So we also want to help with that. And usually when they get to know the person, the international friend better, then the image of that culture is more positive for them as well. And they learn to see the people as individuals rather than like just representatives of that culture. Though.
Yeah, definitely. I think that like this sort of connection also helps locals kind of accept and welcome diversity.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important for like example in a city like Turku, which is like becoming even more international every year. And
definitely, so the attitudes are so important. Like
yeah.
So those are like the inspirations behind the program.
Okay, like I totally agree with these steps. So going to Peru, so I would like to ask, like, what was your motivation for starting or joining this friendship program, and also what were your initial expectations from this program?
Well, as I said, I wanted to sort of step out of my social comfort zone, and I'm kind of a shy person generally, so I thought that it's a great way to kind of come out of my shell a bit more, and just take myself to an event that would feel that would help me find new people. And I also wanted to practice my language skills, because when I first attended the program in 2022, I didn't really have much experience speaking English in everyday situations. So that was one point. And also I felt like it would be a great way to sort of network, because you never know like where you're going to work in the future. You never know where your friends are going to work in the future. So I think having sort of a diverse network will help you get great chances in the future as well. So sort of like it had to do with school, it had to do with my everyday life, with like improving myself and building networks and friendships.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. So I like to ask about my question is from Sonja. Like, what are the core activities or events from the friendship program, or what a person could be expect from this program?
So we have some official parts, and then there are like the other experiences. So about the official parts first, we have an opening event each season, actually 2 events, because there are so many people involved. We have to split them into 2 events. But the idea is that we first have the application round, and then we do the pairings based on common interests, and then they go to the people come to the opening events. And once they come to the event, they don't yet know who their friend is going to be. They are unaware of that when they arrive, but they meet each other at the opening event, and everything is like revealed, and they get to spend the evening already getting to know each other a bit and finding out what the common interests might be, why we have combined them into a pair. And so that's the beginning of each season. And then because you have a spring season and an autumn season, so we already also have another event during that season. And in spring, it's usually the May Day event, Vappu in Finnish. And in the autumn, it's typically a pre-Christmas event that we organize. So those are like the official events. And in addition to those, each participant of the friendship program gets free admission, free entrance to a museum. So they get to go during the season. So they get to go there with their friend, decide the museum together and go with their friend. That's like the official parts. But then the experiences that they also get, they vary depending on the personalities of the friends and the like common interests of the friends, because we don't want to make it too like stiff, and we want to give them some independence to decide what they want to do together, and that's like the idea. So there are those who decide on like want to do some more like low-key, low-threshold stuff, like go walking together or go to a cafe together. And there are those who might like travel somewhere even together or do some extreme sports if they want. And that's completely, if that's what they are into, then why not? And I know that many people also, for example, bake or cook dishes from their, like both of their cultures. And yeah, that's like a common thing that many people do. So yeah, the experiences are quite varied. Yeah.
Okay, like quite interesting events and happening in the friendship program. So after talking about experiences, I would like to ask Pyry about how this participating in the friendship program from your point of view has it impacted your life and your studies in Turku.
I think the most concrete example is that I've got new friends, of course, and I'm still staying in touch with the friends that I've made in 2022 as well. And yeah, it's helped me connect with other people as well, because of course your international friends also have friends, and it helps you get to know like more people. And also I would say that I've become more brave and sort of maybe not more outgoing, but I'm less afraid to try new things. And I can trust myself that like I will manage in situations where I'm outside my comfort zone as well. Yeah, and it's always interesting to learn about new cultures, new languages, new customs, new countries, whatever. And it also had led to many interesting conversations, I think. Like it helps me notice many things about Finland, like both good and bad things that I sort of might be used to in my everyday life. So it helps me take into account like what sort of challenges people might have when they move to Finland, but also it helps me appreciate more the things that are already well and beautiful and good about Finland.
Like quite a lot of experiences that you got.
Yeah.
So as we are talking about the activities and the experiences, my next question is about the challenges about this friendship program. So would you talk about how or what type of challenges did you face in this program?
Well, because the group is quite diverse in terms of background, then of course there are challenges involved with that. But also people come with very different kinds of expectations. Some have quite high expectations of what it is going to be like. And I'd say that the main challenge or the most difficult part of this is the pairings, like combining people in the pairs based on their common interests, because we only have the enrollment forms to go on and what they've written on their forms about themselves and what they would like to do with the friend. And they might have in their heads like a visualized idea of what the friend is going to be like, and we can see it inside their heads and see
the ideal international friend or local friend.
Yeah, so that's always a bit difficult, and people have very specific requests for us, and we try to fill them as much as possible, but it's impossible to fill them all, so we have to make compromises, but we try to make good compromises, and hopefully they are surprisingly good even, so it might even be better in a way. And yeah, so that's definitely, and of course the chemistry between the people, even if they have common interests, we can't tell before they actually meet and get to know each other. We aren't able to see if the chemistry is going to match. So that's definitely one thing. And each season, because we collect feedback at the end of the season, each season we get people who are disappointed. That's forgiven. I don't think it's possible to completely avoid that happening. But the majority of the feedback is really positive, and we always get those that say that, oh my God, I had the perfect match, and I can't believe, how did you know that that would be such a good match, and I got the best friend, and we want to stay in touch after the season and stuff like that. So that's always really great to hear. And but another challenge in terms of the diverse background is that there's always the possibility of cultural shocks and stuff like that. But that actually happens, or we don't hear in our feedback much about those kinds of things. So I think that they are not so, that not happen that much. And I think it might be because usually the people that take part in this kind of program are already quite open-minded going into this sort of program. So they are not so easily shocked by like cultural differences.
Yeah, and I think a culture shock can also be a very positive thing.
It can definitely be a good thing. So yeah, yeah. So those are the challenges.
Yeah, so challenges always bring a room for improvement in
Yeah.
everything. So I agree with that thing. So going back to the Pyry, my next question would be like, why do you think this friendship program is different from other integration program or other programs for exchange?
I think the sort of matchmaking thing that you've been describing is one of the key things that makes the program unique. And also, as you were describing, like wanting to give the program some structure, but not sort of making it too structured, and giving the participants also freedom to like decide what they want to do and what kind of things they would like to try and learn and so on. So personally, I've been also taking part in tutoring, like both language tutoring for exchange students who are studying Finnish, and also incoming exchange students. And I think language tutoring is very structured, and then the exchange tutoring is very like free form. And so are many other like student-led activities such as language circles and language partner and so on. So I think this is like the friendship program is a perfect balance between structured and free form, because it gives you sort of like the frames for and ideas for what to do. And I think handing out free museum tickets, for example, is a great way to like give the participants their first date in a way. And
with a little push, like.
Yeah. And then like connecting people based on shared hobbies or interests also helps students or participants in general find like a common ground. And that's a great perspective to start from, and like to come up with activities or other ideas for like spending time together.
Very good. So I would like to ask Sonja about how this friendship program, how do you see this friendship program evolving, or are there any new projects or collaboration in the horizon?
Yeah, well, because it has been running for such a long time, I think the main challenges have maybe already been tackled or have been noticed already what the challenges are. So we don't want to too much mess with something that is not broken per se. So we try to keep the core ideas and core concepts intact in a way. But we are always looking for ways to evolve and to collaborate with the other actors here in Turku, of course. We are always interested in that. And also when we get feedback from the participants, we try to make the adjustments that are needed based on those. And but in terms of the future, this is this organized, this friendship program as like a project, and is funded and as a part of the Study in Turku network of the higher education institutions, and also the city of Turku is involved. So this current project is a 3-year project, which is coming to an end this year. So we don't know about because it hasn't been decided what will happen after this year. But we are, of course, naturally hoping that it will continue, and because it's doing such good things, but we don't know yet. But I can tell you already that there will be an autumn season after this spring season, so that I do know already. Yeah.
Okay. So just going back to the closing remarks, I would like to ask Pyry about what advice would you give to the students who are thinking of joining this friendship program?
Based on my first experience with the program, which was a no-show case. So the first international friend didn't show up for the meeting. It all ended well in the end, and I was able to find another international friends too. And but based on that, I would say if you sign up, they take responsibility and commit to the program.
Definitely.
Because it's not just about you. There's also the other side, your local friend or the international friend. So in generally be kind and respectful of others and their time, and also have an open mind and be brave about being yourself, but also sort of assuming responsibility and leaping into new experiences. And yeah, I think if you're kind and respectful and have basic cooperation skills, it already takes you a long way.
That sounds so good.
Yes, I totally agree with these things, Finn. So, last few words from Sonia about this friendship program, if you want to say something to the people.
I would encourage everyone to join the friendship program, of course. And it's not unfortunately possible for the spring season because we already have like the pairings. I've been making the pairs not as we speak, but today as well we'll be making the pairs. But those of you who haven't yet applied and feel like coming on board, then I can address the camera. So do join us in the autumn season, and the application period will be most likely in August and in early September. So do join up.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned and do join us then.
Yeah, and if I'm also addressing the camera now, but if you're too late for the friendship program, there's also other sort of international activities such as language circles and clubs and so on. So even if you're late for the season, you can still try and find new friends like other ways at the university as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Sonia and Pyry. It was so nice talking about this friendship program. I was also learning a new stuff and got to know new things about the friendship program that I didn't know, so it was quite informative. Once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
So nice.
And thanks to the audience for tuning in. So thank you for tuning in the Finnish Tales of Integration. We hope that you gain some experience and insights and feel more prepared about your own integration story. And remember to mark your calendar for 14 February, Ustavan Paiva, where we will be having an on-site event in Mercatori, TSC, in the Turku School of Economics. So that will be a great opportunity for you to connect with your fellow students and some Finnish people and share your own experience. Till then, stay tuned and remember, your integration story is ours.